Hey, good morning to everybody. Happy Saturday. It's Daryl here. It's bright and freaking early, 3:30 a.m. here in Connecticut on the East Coast. Okay, if everything goes as I plan here, on today's thumbnail of this video, I'm going to use a picture of William Ryan, 60 years old, from Newburgh, New York. And I'm debating which picture I'm going to use, his mugshot or the one of him in action for his embarrassing, frightening. I gotta choose my words carefully here in this video. Okay, God knows there's a lot of these videos here on social media. Way too many. Okay, let me describe the incident here where William Ryan was arrested. Okay, Reverend Robert McLemore was driving last Saturday with his teenage son in his car. He's a reverend at a church, and he was going to go lock the church up later in the afternoon Saturday. And as he was driving, he stopped and let a car go out in front of him, which I do all the time. These days, to be honest, I'm not, I've learned that life is too short and I'm not in a rush to go anywhere, and it doesn't hurt to let somebody out. You do a good turn for somebody and they do a good turn for somebody, and so on and so forth, and it spreads. And vice versa, when you do something not so nice, it tends to spread too. Something I learned in the last 15 years of recovery. But anyway, so he's driving back to his church, and apparently the gentleman behind him got very upset at him. How dare this guy let somebody out? Apparently William Ryan had somewhere to go. At 60 years old, I assume he's probably retired or semi-retired, and it's a Saturday, but God knows his time's important. And he approached the Reverend McLemore's car, and I got to be careful what I say here. He had a box cutter in his hand, and he acted extremely. Like I said, I have to be careful what I'm saying here. He acted very inappropriately. You know what? This video is. Let me tell you what I got my takeaway from this video, because, like I said, God knows there's a lot of these videos out there. The very first thing that caught my attention was the perpetrator here, William Ryan in this case, his age, and what he was driving. And the thing that bothers me a lot is a lot of times these guys look like me. I'm going to get into that more in a second. That's the first thing I noticed. I've talked about this before. Let me say this. Not all men that drive trucks act like this. But most of the guys that act like William Ryan do drive trucks. And to back up that claim too, I have a couple links down below. What Republicans drive, what Trump-supporting Republicans drive, what liberal Democrats drive. And I gotta say, it was dead on. The car most liberals drive is what I drive, a small Honda. And what most Trump-supporting conservatives drive was what this guy was driving, a large, full-size luxury pickup truck, or sports truck, whatever you want to call it. Around here, I've talked about this before. I don't know why. I also looked up the colors, because there is something with big black trucks around here, just racing all over the place with flags on the back and loud mufflers, and they're not the same one. And I looked up the color, because a lot of times they're either red, like this guy's, William Ryan's, or they're black. And conservatives tend to go with the white vehicles, because a lot of conservatives come from the South, and it's hot in the South. There's not a whole lot of white vehicles up here in the North, just to begin with, I noticed, but I'm getting off track. So anyway, William Ryan goes up to the Reverend's car. Now, his teenage son is sitting in the passenger seat, and he threatens him with a box cutter. And I think he actually struck the Reverend's phone case and left a mark in it. This goes beyond just being biased or bigoted. This is. I started thinking, when did this all start? Did it start with Obama? I listened to what William Ryan was saying. One of the first things, he claimed to be a state cop from New York, which he is not. And he is no way, he is not now, nor ever was he ever associated with the state police in New York in any way, shape, or form. So he was lying there. But why was he lying? And then he said this too. When he yelled out the window, and you'll hear this, the videos, the links will be down below. He says, "You'll never be," and then he states his own Caucasian. "You'll never be Caucasian. You'll never be Caucasian." You know, and I thought about these two things. That he's looking for power, obviously. It's one of the first things he said. He said, I'm an off-duty state cop. So he said, to me, I try to analyze this. I'm not a psychologist, but he's trying to he sees an African-American man. He's trying to put fear into him that he is a person of authority. How dare you mess with me? How dare you slow me up? Because all the Reverend did was let somebody out in front of him. He didn't even cut off. From what I understand, he didn't even do anything to William Ryan. He just let a car out in front of him while Ryan was behind him. And Ryan, he wants to put out there that he's a man of authority. But then I really started thinking about the next thing he said. "You'll never be Caucasian." And I started thinking about that. And I started to think about what Fox News is always putting out there. Tucker Carlson, the replacement stuff, and you can see where this comes from. And I started thinking about Archie Bunker and All in the Family, because it seems like there's so much of this. As soon as Trump took office, these guys crawled out from under their rocks. It's okay, I can be who I am now. I can show all my ugliness. Really, that's what it seems like. But these guys have been around for a while. And then I thought about how I feel. I live in the middle of the city here. And there's a lot of people of all different races. I've told you guys before, I'm out walking and biking every day. I'm out on the sidewalks 2-3 hours a day, in the park, in the sidewalks, riding my bike, trails. And I pass by mostly people that are different from me. And it's guys like this. When I pass by people, somebody I don't know, and I make eye contact with them, one of the first things I think is, I wonder if they think I'm like most, or the guys that you see here, like William Ryan, in their late 50s, 60s, late 40s. It's always these guys. Look at what happened on January 6th. The whole screen is filled with these guys. And when I make eye contact, it's like I want this person to know. I probably go out of my way to be too friendly. I want them to know that I am not one of these guys. I'm ashamed to share my age and the way I look. I'm ashamed to share these things in common with people like William Ryan. And I want people to know that I am not one of these people. I am not one of them. And then I started thinking, the people that I'm approaching of different races and colors and religions, what are they thinking? What do they think about themselves? And I started thinking about this. We're all human. And the people approaching me, now I've never asked them, but a lot of them are probably thinking the exact same thing. They don't want to be lumped in with people that look like them, that act badly. The bottom line here is the majority of all people are good, fair, open-minded, non-biased people. And it's unfortunate that there's people like William Ryan here that act in this way and tend to cast a shadow, a dark cloud on anybody that's similar to him in looks or age. And the same with all races and all different races and religions. I'm sure they feel the same way. The majority of people are good people. All right. The links will all be down below. You guys have a good Saturday.